With their thick legs, fangs that can be seen even without magnification, and a body that can grow larger than a man's palm, tarantulas look like the perfect villain for a horror movie. The truth is far less dramatic. Despite their monstrous reputation, tarantulas are surprisingly docile and avoid humans whenever they can. In fact, their venom is far weaker than that of a common wasp, and most species would rather flick irritating hairs from their abdomen than ever use their fangs. These hairs cause mild itching at most, nothing close to the nightmare stories often told about them. What many don't realize is that tarantulas can actually be quite fragile. Their large size makes them intimidating, but their exoskeletons can break if they fall from even a short height. In the wild, they spend most of their time hidden, waiting for prey to wander close. The fear they spark is mainly psychological, built on our deep-rooted instinct to avoid spiders. In controlled studies, people often exaggerate how aggressive tarantulas are, when in reality these arachnids freeze in place or retreat at the first sign of danger. Another fascinating detail is their lifespan. While most insects live only weeks or months, female tarantulas can survive for more than 20 years. This incredible longevity makes them a favorite among exotic pet enthusiasts. Owners often compare them to slow-moving, low-maintenance pets rather than threatening predators. Their calm nature has even led to tarantulas being featured in Hollywood productions, where a terrifying appearance is needed, but safety is also important. When directors need a guaranteed scare without risk, the tarantula is often the star. So, despite the horror their looks may inspire, tarantulas are far less dangerous than many everyday creatures. Deep in the forests of Madagascar lives an animal that has been the center of myths and superstitions for centuries. The aye-aye is a lemur with bulging yellow eyes, bat-like ears, and a long, bony finger that looks as if it belongs in a gothic horror story. Locals once believed it carried bad luck simply by pointing that finger, a legend that turned it into one of the most misunderstood primates on the planet. In reality, the aye-aye is nothing more than an expert insect hunter. That creepy finger is its tool, tapping on wood to detect hollow spaces where grubs hide. Once it finds its prize, the finger slips inside the bark and hooks out the insect like a natural chopstick. Though its appearance might remind you of a cursed character from a Tim Burton film, the aye-aye poses no threat to people. Its diet is limited to fruit, seeds, and bugs, and it avoids human settlements whenever possible. What looks like a horror monster in the moonlight is simply a nocturnal lemur that helps control insect populations. The very features that inspire fear are in fact adaptations for survival. Its giant eyes allow it to see in the dark, its sensitive ears catch the faintest insect movement, and its iconic finger gives it access to food sources other animals can't reach. Unfortunately, the aye-aye's unusual looks once made it a target. Villagers considered it an omen, which led to unnecessary killings. Today, conservationists work hard to spread the truth the aye-aye isn't dangerous at all. On the contrary, it's an essential part of Madagascar's ecosystem. To see one up close is to realize how fragile and unique it really is. The aye-aye may look like a creature of nightmares, but in reality it's a harmless night worker, a living reminder that nature sometimes hides the most extraordinary skills in the strangest packages. If you've ever seen a giant African millipede slowly crawl across the ground, you might think you've stepped into a science fiction film. Stretching up to 12 inches long with dozens of legs moving in eerie waves, this creature looks like something designed to invade dreams. The thought of so many legs working in perfect rhythm can be enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Yet despite its intimidating size and armored appearance, the giant African millipede is completely harmless to humans. Unlike centipedes, which can deliver painful venomous bites, millipedes are gentle decomposers. They live among fallen leaves and rotting wood, eating decaying plant matter and recycling nutrients back into the soil. If threatened, they don't attack. Instead, they curl into a spiral and release a mild defensive secretion with an earthy smell that keeps predators away. For people, this is at most a skin irritant, not a dangerous toxin. Their defense is more about making themselves unappealing than causing real harm. What makes these millipedes fascinating is their structure. Each body segment carries 2 pairs of legs, and when they walk, the legs ripple like a moving conveyor belt. Watching them crawl can be oddly hypnotic, as if a black train of legs is gliding across the forest floor. Despite their scary appearance, they play a critical role in keeping ecosystems healthy, cleaning up dead material that would otherwise pile up. In classrooms and zoos, they are often used as ambassador insects to show children that not all creepy crawly creatures are dangerous. The giant African millipede may look like a monster from a comic book, but it's one of nature's most harmless recyclers. At first glance, the gharial could easily be mistaken for a crocodile straight out of a prehistoric horror tale. With a long, thin snout lined with over 100 sharp teeth, it looks like a predator ready to snap anything in its path. Its body can stretch over 15 feet long, giving it an intimidating presence in the rivers of India and Nepal. To someone standing on the shore, the gharial may appear as threatening as any man-eating reptile. The reality, however, is quite different. That slender snout is not designed to bite large prey. Instead, it's a specialist tool built for catching fish. The gharial's jaws snap shut with lightning speed underwater, perfect for trapping slippery riverfish, but nearly useless against big animals. Unlike other crocodilians, gharials rarely leave the water and almost never approach humans. Their bodies are heavy, their legs are weak, and they are clumsy on land. This makes them one of the least threatening members of the reptile family, despite their frightening grin. In fact, gharials are considered critically endangered. Human activity, pollution, and habitat loss have reduced their numbers to only a few thousand in the wild. Conservationists are working tirelessly to protect them, reminding people that their sharp-toothed appearance hides a creature that prefers solitude and fish over confrontation. In cultural stories, they are sometimes compared to river dragons, yet they are no more threatening to a person than a heron spearing fish in a pond. The gharial may look like a nightmare crocodile, but it is a shy, fish-eating giant that needs protection, not fear. No animal has been demonized in pop culture quite like the great white shark. Thanks to movies like Jaws, the very sight of its dorsal fin slicing through the water sends chills down spines worldwide. With rows of serrated teeth and a body that can reach 20 feet in length, it certainly looks like the ultimate ocean killer. Yet reality tells another story. Great white sharks are not relentless human hunters. In fact, encounters with people are rare, and when they do occur, they are usually cases of mistaken identity. A surfer paddling on a board can resemble a seal from below, and a curious bite is often all it takes for the shark to realize its mistake and move on. What makes the great white terrifying is not aggression toward humans, but its sheer power in the wild. These sharks are apex predators that keep marine ecosystems in balance by controlling seal and fish populations. Without them, entire food chains would collapse. Researchers studying tagged great whites have found that most prefer to stay far from busy beaches, cruising deep offshore currents. In many areas where shark ecotourism thrives, divers safely enter cages or even swim in open water near them, proving these giants are not mindless monsters. The real danger the great white faces isn't people being attacked, but people misunderstanding them. Overfishing and fear-driven hunting have reduced their numbers, and they are now considered vulnerable to extinction. Rather than villains of the sea, they are guardians of ocean health. The great white's menacing silhouette may spark fear, but in truth, it's a shy giant that deserves respect, not hatred. In the mountain rivers of Japan and China lives a creature that could easily pass as a prehistoric monster. The giant salamander can grow over 5 feet long, with wrinkled, slimy skin and a wide, gaping mouth that looks capable of swallowing anything in its path. When threatened, it releases eerie vocalizations that sound like growls or cries, adding to its frightening presence. Hearing such sounds echo through a dark stream could make anyone believe they've stumbled upon a river dragon. Despite its unsettling look and chilling calls, the giant salamander is harmless to humans. Its diet consists of fish, insects, and small invertebrates. Instead of using speed or sharp teeth, it relies on suction feeding, opening its mouth to create a vacuum that pulls prey inside. It spends most of its time hidden under rocks or buried in mud, moving slowly and cautiously in its cool, freshwater environment. For centuries, this amphibian has inspired folklore across East Asia, where it was often linked to river spirits or mythical beasts. In modern times, it has become a symbol of conservation, since pollution and habitat destruction have threatened its survival. Far from being a danger, the giant salamander is a fragile giant that needs clean water and protection to thrive. Its size and voice may evoke legends of monsters, but the reality is a quiet, ancient survivor with no interest in harming people. Few animals look as bizarre as the star-nosed mole. Found in the wetlands of North America, this small mammal has a face that could frighten even horror movie fans. At the center of its snout is a fleshy starburst of 22 tentacle-like appendages, twitching and wriggling as it searches for food underground. To someone unfamiliar, it looks more like a creature from a science fiction series than a real animal. The truth behind its creepy appearance is fascinating rather than frightening. Those tentacles are packed with over 25,000 tiny sensory receptors, making them the most sensitive touch organs of any mammal on Earth. With this tool, the star-nosed mole can detect prey and snap it up in just milliseconds, making it one of the fastest eaters in the animal kingdom. Its menu includes insects, worms, and aquatic invertebrates, all consumed far from human eyes. Despite looking like a laboratory experiment gone wrong, the star-nosed mole is completely harmless. It spends its life tunneling through soil and marshland, playing an important role in controlling insect populations. Scientists even study it to understand how nerves process touch, which could one day inspire breakthroughs in medical technology. What looks like a nightmare nose is actually one of nature's most brilliant designs, proving that fear and fascination often walk hand in hand. Beneath the understood giants, high in the mountains of Europe, Africa, and Asia, soars a bird that looks as if it belongs on the shoulder of a villain from a fantasy epic. With wings that stretch nearly 10 feet across, piercing red eyes, and feathers that often stain rusty orange from dust baths, the bearded vulture appears every bit the predator its name suggests. To make it even more intimidating, it has a habit of circling high above cliffs while clutching bones in its talons. The sight is enough to send shivers down the spine of hikers who stumble across it. Yet despite its terrifying appearance and nickname Bonebreaker, this bird is no threat to humans. Its unique diet consists almost entirely of bones from carcasses. It swallows small ones whole and drops larger ones from the sky onto rocks, shattering them into edible fragments. Where other scavengers eat meat, the bearded vulture specializes in what's left behind, ensuring that no part of an animal goes to waste. This makes it one of nature's ultimate recyclers rather than a dangerous predator. In folklore, the bearded vulture was sometimes seen as a dark omen because of its habit of soaring over battlefields and mountains. Modern science paints a very different picture. It is shy, rarely approaching people, and plays a crucial role in cleaning ecosystems. Watching one glide effortlessly across the sky feels like seeing a myth brought to life. But the truth is that this bone-eating giant is a misunderstood caretaker of the wild. If there were a contest for the most unsettling mouth in nature, the purposes. Few animals inspire awe quite like the whale shark. At up to 40 feet long, this colossal fish really dwarfs almost everything else in the ocean. Its spotted body and immense mouth, which is large enough to swallow a person whole, can make it seem like the ultimate predator. Seeing one glide beneath the surface is like watching a living submarine pass by. An encounter that can be both thrilling and, honestly, a little terrifying at first sight. Yet, despite its enormous size and gaping mouth, the whale shark is truly a gentle giant. It feeds exclusively on plankton, small fish, and microscopic creatures, filtering them from the water as it swims. Lacking the sharp teeth and hunting instincts of sharks made famous in movies, the whale shark is slow-moving and peaceful. Divers often swim alongside them without fear, mesmerized by their calm presence and sheer scale. These gentle giants migrate across the world's oceans, playing a crucial role in keeping plankton populations in check. Sadly, they face threats from overfishing, boat collisions, and habitat loss. Conservation groups now protect many whale shark hotspots, allowing ecotourism to replace fear with fascination. To see one up close is to witness proof that not everything massive and intimidating is dangerous. Instead, the whale shark is a reminder of the ocean's mysteries and its ability to surprise us with creatures that are both monstrous in size and mild in nature. Among all bears, none unsettles people quite like the sun bear. Found in the forests of Southeast Asia, this small bear has an oddly human-like face that has gone viral on social media more than once, leaving viewers convinced they were looking at a person in a costume. Its loose skin, long pink tongue, and piercing eyes only add to its unsettling appearance. When it rears up on two legs, its stance looks strangely human, which fuels its eerie reputation. Despite its creepy looks, the sun bear is not a threat to people. Standing only about 4 feet tall when on all fours, it is the smallest bear species in the world. Its long tongue, which can reach nearly 10 inches, is used not for aggression but for raiding beehives and licking honey from trees. In fact, this behavior earned it the nickname honey bear. Its diet mainly consists of fruit, insects, and honey, and it spends most of its time climbing trees or foraging quietly in the undergrowth. What makes the sun bear even more remarkable is its role in the forest. By tearing open trees to reach insects and honey, it creates nesting sites for birds and small mammals. Its foraging helps spread seeds, ensuring new growth in tropical jungles. Far from being a monster, it is a shy and vital part of its ecosystem. The unsettling face that captures so much attention hides a gentle, secretive creature whose main passion in life is something as innocent as sweet honey. On beaches along the Atlantic coast and in parts of Asia, strange helmet-shaped creatures sometimes wash ashore, startling anyone unfamiliar with them. With a rigid shell, spiky tail, and legs that resemble an armored insect, the horseshoe crab looks like it belongs on another planet. Its appearance often inspires unease, as if it could sting or pierce with its sharp edges. Some even mistake it for a giant prehistoric bug. In reality, the horseshoe crab is completely harmless. Despite the name, it is not a true crab at all, but a distant relative of spiders and scorpions. Its tail, which looks like a weapon, is actually just a steering rudder that helps it flip over if waves push it onto its back. It spends its life burrowing through sand and mud, feeding on worms, clams, and algae. To humans, it poses no threat whatsoever. What makes the horseshoe crab truly fascinating is its history. These creatures have existed for more than 400 million years, making them older than dinosaurs. Their blue blood contains a special compound that clots when exposed to bacteria, which has been invaluable for medical safety testing around the world. This alien-looking survivor with its armored body and eerie movements is a quiet guardian of both its ecosystem and human health. What seems like a spiky menace is in truth one of Earth's most extraordinary and harmless ancient residents. In the swamps of East Africa stands a bird that looks like it stepped straight out of the age of dinosaurs. The shoebill stork is enormous, often standing over 4 feet tall, with a massive beak shaped like a clog that can reach the size of a human head. Its gray feathers, slow movements, and piercing stare give it an unsettling presence, as if it is silently judging anyone who dares to come near. When one fixes its gaze on you, the feeling is closer to being watched by a prehistoric creature than a modern bird. Despite its frightening appearance, the shoebill is not dangerous to humans. It feeds primarily on fish, lungfish in particular, and occasionally small amphibians or reptiles. Its powerful beak is built to clamp down on slippery prey in the marshes, not to menace people. Shoebills are solitary, preferring to stand motionless for hours in tall grass, waiting for the perfect strike. To those who stumble across one in the wild, this statue-like patience only adds to the eerie effect, as if the bird might suddenly come alive like a monster in a suspense film. The shoebill has become something of a legend online, with videos showing its strange bowing display and unsettling stare racking up millions of views. Many compare it to velociraptors from Jurassic Park because of its reptilian look. In truth, it is a shy and quiet bird, reluctant to interact with humans unless threatened. What makes it so captivating is that it blurs the line between bird and dinosaur, giving us a living glimpse into prehistory. Its unnerving stare may haunt you, but the shoebill stork is nothing more than a swamp giant with an unforgettable face. Deep on the ocean floor, thousands of feet beneath the surface, lives one of the strangest creatures ever filmed, the sea pig. With a soft pink body, stubby legs like inflated tubes, and antenna-like structures sticking from its back, it looks more like an alien rover than an animal. Crawling slowly over the seafloor in large herds, it can easily unsettle divers who catch a glimpse of it on cameras exploring the abyss. The name sea pig only adds to its bizarre, unsettling charm. Despite its strange and slightly creepy appearance, the sea pig is completely harmless. It doesn't hunt or attack. Instead, it feeds by filtering tiny organic particles from the mud, essentially vacuuming up leftovers that sink to the bottom. In doing so, it plays a vital role in cleaning the ocean floor. The sea pig's eerie look is simply a side effect of adapting to life under crushing pressure in pitch-black depths. Far from being a monster, it is a pink, slow-moving cleaner of the deep sea, proof that the weirdest-looking creatures are often the gentlest. That's about it. Which creature scared you the most? Write in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos.